G'day, my name is Laura Baer and I'm your local Aussie Girl Realtor and I work for Porchlight Real Estate Group. Today I thought we could touch on some things I wish I knew before moving to Colorado, and there was quite a list and it caught me off guard, and I just figured I would share some of those things with you. Again, my name is Laura. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and reach out with any questions, because although I love making these videos, I do enjoy getting out with you more, looking at homes, talking about Colorado in general, and meeting people in person rather than virtually. So the first one that really comes to mind is the weather and how you can be unprepared for the weather. So you can really have 4 seasons, not even in one day. You can literally have it in a span of 2 hours. It's pretty wild. So I can be at my son's football game. I get there, it's hot, sunny, and because of the elevation, the sun is like so intense and you can burn I'm very fair, so I can burn very quickly, but then the wind can pick up and it just cuts through you and it can get cold, and then I got to go to my car and get a blanket and a jacket. So the weather here can be, I call it bipolar. That storm can roll in a matter of minutes, and it'll be sunny one minute and then next minute it's like thunder, lightning, hail, snow, you name it, it all comes through. So yeah, and then the wind, it'll cut right through you and chill you to the bone. So as long as you are prepared for the weather, you have the right clothing for it, you'll enjoy your time. So another thing to consider is the altitude, and it might take you a minute to adjust to it. So the average altitude here is 6,800 feet above sea level. So a lot of people fly into Colorado from lower lying places, and kind of it takes them by surprise. So some symptoms you can experience are dizziness, nausea, shortness of breath, that being a big one, and headaches as well. So for me, for example, I moved here and I joined this fitness group because, I needed a community. And my first workout, I just had like snot just pouring out of me. I had no idea. I didn't even have a cold at the time. And then I felt so sick, I puked, had headaches, and then I realized I suffered altitude sickness. So yeah, particularly if you're flying into, places like Breckenridge or Vail that are even higher altitudes, you probably want to allow some time for yourself to adjust to that, because it can be very unpleasant. So another thing is, don't forget to hydrate, and I can't emphasize that enough. It is definitely a high desert up here. Thin air, your headaches can be quite intense if you're not used to the altitude and you're not drinking enough water. So hydrate, and lots of lotion, lip gloss, lip balm, whatever it is you want to use, hand cream, you're going to need it, particularly in the winter. So another thing is, don't underestimate the cost of living in Colorado. We are definitely higher than the average state, and that's because we have a strong economy and it's so popular here. So that's kind of driven up the cost of living, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I understand why people want to live here. It's such a beautiful state. But with that being said, definitely the cost of living can be higher than the national average. So bear that in mind, which kind of leads right into house prices are high, but you don't need to overpay, especially in this market right now. So what are we, October 23? You do have the opportunity to take your time to buy a house. You do have opportunity to negotiate and perhaps buy down your interest rate, or have the seller pay it down for you, which I love. I love that for the consumer now, because 2021 market was awful when you're having to pay 25% over asking. That's not fun for anyone. And then, sometimes people then become upside down on their mortgages, and we don't want that. So I love this market right now for the consumer. You don't have to overpay for housing in Colorado at the moment, which is fantastic. So as long as you do your research, look at comps, know what fair market value is for that property, no need to overpay here anymore. So another thing is, you have to be prepared for the crowds. For example, those ski resorts like Breckenridge, for example, in the winter, it can be so busy. So you want to prepare yourself for that. Plan ahead, book accommodation, even book some restaurants for dinners, especially if you have a larger group of people, because you can't just walk in and get a table for 8 people, for example. So definitely plan ahead. Same with the national park. If you want to go to the Rocky Mountain National Park, you might need to get park entry and pre-book it, because it will book out. And then if you've come all the way here and then you can't get in, that's very disappointing. So plan ahead. It can get busy in peak seasons. So don't be left without the ability to go see and do the things you want to. So overall, Colorado is such a great place to come visit or live or move to and be active. There's such an endless supply of outdoor activities to do that there's no reason to be indoors, especially with so much sunshine, so many great opportunities to be in nature. Take advantage of it. It really is one of the most beautiful places I've ever seen. Again, my name is Laura Baer. I'm your local Aussie Girl Realtor, and I work in the beautiful state of Colorado, if you haven't figured that out by now. Again, reach out, questions, if you want to talk about Colorado, talk about the housing market here. If you plan to fly out and want to look at properties, or you already live here and are looking to upsize, downsize, invest, buy your first home, it doesn't matter what it is, I'm happy to help, and I would love to help. So reach out, call me, text me, email me. I'm available.